What is up, guys? Ncaa 31 here. Got a lot of stuff going on in the football gaming community focused around Madden 21. The hashtag Fix Madden franchise movement is still alive and well. It seemed to have gotten another kick in the arm with the fact that this has been the kickoff of Madden ratings release week. They actually did a little bit of it on Friday with the rookie rating, some of the top rookies in the game, and now they're doing their rollout, which they'll do all week long as far as different position groups and all that good stuff. And all the chatter on Twitter and social media going on about that and the hype that generates. And, that has pretty much revamped the Fix franchise hashtag. And rightfully so. The franchise guys are keeping that thing alive and well. And also, with this week, there's another deep dive going on, another developer deep dive featuring Anthony White. I believe it's on Tuesday, the 14th, where he'll be talking about Madden Playbooks. Have needed a facelift for quite some time, and he did some pretty good work with them over the past year, but not nearly as much as we would like to see. They implemented the live playbook feature around the middle of the year, but we didn't really get all that much. And hopefully that's something that he will expound upon. But really, I'm looking to see how these playbooks have been improved upon, concept-wise, and how the plays are executed on the field, as far as schematic accuracy, route spacing, how the routes are being run, how plays are being blocked, formation variety, concept overlap. Those core things that you need in order to have users be able to run diverse offenses. And on top of that, this is also the week that we would be having the release of a new NCAA football game, if we still had NCAA football games being made. So I thought that was a perfect opportunity to revisit the last time EA Sports made a game that accomplished that. And that was NCAA 14. A year ago, I did a breakdown of what I felt were the top 20 best and most unique playbooks in the game. And really, I could have gone 30, 40, 50 deep in that video, but I had to trim it down to just 20. The playbooks in this game are just masterfully crafted. It's not all perfect game mechanic wise, but one of the slogans of NCAA 14 was play true to your school. And with 126 Division I programs at the time in that game, I thought they did a commendable job. Most people would agree that NCAA 14 was one of EA Sports' football masterpieces. It's generally regarded as the best EA football game of the last two generations of consoles, and one of the best football games of all time. And I believe it's an accolade that is well earned. It just had that it factor, it had flavor, it had personality, it had that feel of college football. It hit that fun spot. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 playbooks that I did not include in my series that I did a year ago, and I included the link in the comment section to those two videos for those of you who are newer and have not had a chance to watch them, or you guys want to just take a trip down memory lane and watch them again and wax in the nostalgia of it all. So I'll feature 10 more, and that'll bring the total to 30, and any one of these 30 playbooks would be a top-level playbook in Madden, without question. And there are playbooks after these 10 that I still could mention. The game is just that deep playbook-wise. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will have your own favorites that I do not mention. Like I said, I can go 40, 50 deep with this without breaking a sweat. But I don't want to do this forever, so we're just going to leave it at that for now. So anyway, let's begin. First up is Air Force. These are all going to be in alphabetical order. And as we all know, the academies, they will run option-heavy football. They don't have the speed, they don't have the size, so the option game is the great equalizer. Precision, discipline, timing, intricacies. There's a perception among casual observers that option football is not sophisticated. It is that it's simplistic. That is not the case at all. But anyway, Air Force's playbook is a little bit different than Army and Navy's in that it reminds me more of the Tom Osborne style of power run option football. You have single back, you have I formation, and you can run speed option, load option, triple option out of the I. You have I twins and heavy I formation sets, and pretty good passing plays as far as being able to attack blitzing and man coverage, which you'll see a slew of when you are playing option football in this game. You got some good drop back and play action stuff like mid attack, wide receiver post, play action in, Z option. You have I tight here. Again, you can run the same type of stuff. Concept overlap. These playbooks all have a lot of concept overlap. And what's funny is A-Dub, Clint, and Rex all did this game. So, it's, when people say that EA does not have the goods as far as talent is concerned, I just point to this game. Those guys put this thing together. You have Maryland I wide, and you have two Maryland I formations. Maryland I wide and Maryland I heavy. Very much a Tom Osborne, Bill McCarthy, I-bone type of vibe. And you still have a few flexbone sets. You only have 4 normal, and you can run your usual stuff, your midline, your speed option, wingback dive, speed sweep, rocket sweep, and all that good stuff. Twins over, split X and Z. So pretty diverse as far as the under center option game is concerned. And you also have a little bit of shotgun. Both Army and Navy have moved a lot of their flexbone stuff to either the pistol or the shotgun. Same offense, same plays, just from a different formation where they can incorporate the QB in the run game downhill a little bit easier and still run their same stuff just from a set where they can spread the field a little bit more. But it's still all the same stuff. You have your shotgun split formations, and you have your split slot, your triple option, your counter option, your inverted veer, some play action, and some stuff like shakes and play action slide, triple option pass. You have some screens there that you can run with that tail motion, hitch corner, usual stuff that you find out of the split offset and split sets in these spread option type playbooks. Shotgun normal, same deal, zone read, speed option, jet sweep, catch and jet sweep, load option, motion, triple option, and some pretty basic passing concepts thrown in here as well. Don't really need a whole heck of a lot in that regard when you got the option game kicking strong. Next up is Arizona. Rich Rodriguez. Before there was Chip Kelly, there was Rich Rodriguez. Rich Rod is one of the godfathers of the spread up-tempo offense, specifically the spread option style, going way back, starting at Tulane, Clemson, then at West Virginia. His career went sideways at Michigan, and backwards actually, and also to an extent at Arizona. But everywhere he's been, he's always found dual threat QBs that put up monster numbers. I mean, take a look at a guy like Sean King. If you guys remember Sean King at Tulane, that 12-0 year they had a 98. 3,495 passing yards, 38 TDs, only 6 INTs, 633 rushing yards, and 11 TDs. He was one of the first guys doing it. Woodrow Dantzler at Clemson when Rich Rod was the OC there. Woodrow had something like 1,800 yards, close to 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 INTs, ran for over 1,000 yards and 13 more touchdowns. Pat White at West Virginia, one of the great collegiate dual-threat QBs of all time. Over 10,000 career yards of total offense, 104 career touchdowns, 4,400 career rushing yards, and all that speed they had in the backfield. Denard Robinson in 2010 was sick. 2,500 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 1,700 rushing yards, 14 more touchdowns. Rich Rod could always coach offense. At Michigan, he was just the wrong guy at the wrong time. Fans, alumni, boosters didn't support him. He could never figure out defense. Even at Arizona, even when he had more success there than he had at Michigan, he could never get the defensive side of the ball figured out. He had Khalil Tate there as well for a couple of years before, before Rich Rod's life went off the skids, as we all know. and now he's resurfaced as at Ole Miss. And this playbook, you can certainly run all of the option stuff, the zone reads, the midline, the speed and load options. You have a lot of offset and flex sets, which you can run dive with the back, slot options, you can run jet sweeps, and you can also really throw the ball out of this sucker too. Just a really, really good playbook. Wide receiver screens, the mid screen, and the bubbles, and the wide ones as well. Ton of spread 2x2 sets. You can really get it going if you're playing with a real dynamic run pass option at QB and you're not putting up 2,500 and close to 1,000. You're doing something wrong. Got a bunch of trips and trio sets, trio Z spot and trio smash and drive spacing, fake screen wheel, strong flood, all you can run in this game smooth and with good spacing. Trio open, same deal, play action boot over, flood switch, deep attack, slot corner, inside cross, you can run, and in this game you can actually run halfback counter as well. So you're not just trapped into running in one direction out of the gun, and you have a 5 wide receiver trio set we can run motion option, QB blast, so you can both run it and pass it with pretty good effectiveness out of empty. Really good playbook, a lot of stuff that you can do. And you have a couple of I formation sets as well that you can run load and triple option as well if you want to go under center and hammer the ball a little bit when you need to. Man, just paging through these playbooks, it's just, they're so good. So good. Next up, we are going to stay in state, Arizona State, the Sun Devils. Really nice spread to run playbook. There's also some Notre Dame connections here as well, as Chip Long, Notre Dame's former OC, was on this staff with Mike Norville, and he followed Mike Norville to Memphis. And now Mike Norville's at Florida State, and Chip Long is at Tennessee because Brian Kelly cannot help but undermine his OCs and ends up running them all out of town. But I digress. But yeah, really solid spread to run playbook. And I actually believe that FSU has the right guy finally. Mike Norville's one of those guys that's won everywhere he's been. He's been successful at every stop. He's a meat and potatoes football guy who runs very solid meat and potatoes style offenses. I feel that FSU has to get back to basics. Run downhill, run with power, be disciplined, all those type of cliches that you hope to get in your football coach to instill on your team. But they're so hard to find. His offenses have always been really good and always had really good ground attacks. Lots of auto motion in this playbook, either to get an H back as an extra blocker with HB off tackle or screen, or for jet sweeps or dives and QB keepers. We're in the shotgun offset formation here, doubles offset. And you have a lot of that, a lot of offsets and flex sets and wing sets to get the ball going downhill, buck sweep read option. But his system is not really skewed out of balance like Gus Malzahn can get at times, for example. They threw for 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, only 11 INTs. They ran for over 2,600 and 32 more touchdowns. They ran 551 times and threw it 441 this past season. The consistent thing with all of his offenses, they always run it really, really well. The previous year, both their backs, Darrell Henderson and Patrick Taylor, had over 1,000 yards. Darrell Henderson almost had 2,000 yards, actually. He had 22 touchdowns. Patrick Taylor had 16. And Brady White still threw for over 3,000 yards. He had 26 touchdowns against 9 INTs. And they had a 1,000-yard receiver. And I'm kind of hoping that FSU can get it turned around, even though I do believe they treated Willie Taggart just ridiculously. There's that motion series there. Dive, jet sweep, and play action, HB toss. You can run power with that same motion as well. Wing offset to the other side, inside zone split, power, jet sweep, motion triple option off that same jet sweep. More buck sweep action. Midline zone read, so you can run the ball with your QB if you have that option threat. If you don't, you can hand the ball off in a variety of ways and also pitch it around. F twins over, excellent set. You can motion the slot receiver to run a jet sweep, or you can run him between the tackles. You can option off of him. Tons of good stuff. Spread 2x2, same deal. But yeah, I want FSU to find their way. I also want Miami to find their way. I think Miami and FSU both. I think the solution to them, to their problems, are both the same. Well, kind of different. I think FSU has the right kind of guy as far as just a guy who's just, like I said, real solid X's and O's guys and a meat and potatoes football guy. And I think Miami just needs to go all in and embrace a spread. Recruit all that speed in South Florida, put it in space and let it fly. They seem to be going in that direction, bringing in Rhett Lashley, so we'll see how that goes. You got 3 Wildcat sets here for crying out loud as well, my God. So if you want to run it downhill out of the shotgun in a bevy of ways and also be able to pitch the ball around, not a bad book for that whatsoever. You got normal, you got fight song, and you got spread flex, and you also have 2 ace formations. Really versatile playbook. Chop some wood and have some fun doing it. This A slot formation is not half bad either. And you got an I form tight as well. Really nice playbook. Next up is Cal, the Bear Raid. Sonny Dykes from the Mike Leach coaching tree. And as I said about the newer generation air raid guys, they're not as stubborn as their mentor when it comes to running the football. A little bit more multiple as far as personnel packages go, and they'll run the ball downhill if you allow them. If you give them the look and you allow them to do it. As a matter of fact, when he was at Arizona, his air raid was nicknamed the Power Raid because of that. More of a pro-style approach where they worked under center a little bit and mixed in the run game, and more of an emphasis on play action shots off of the run game, as well as your traditional air raid stuff. And you'll find, that type of influence here as well with the inverted veer, the read options, the pistol stuff. You have cluster and you have cluster strong. There's cluster. Play action read gives you a max protect option, cluster bunch, mesh post, Z spot, mesh. Really good, really good formation. Anytime you can run mesh and mesh post, you're cooking. Tight slots. That's always a really potent formation. Your 2x2 sets here, normal Y slot with your air raid shallow crosses, your smash, your 617, all that good stuff. Spread as well. Your sticks, your Y cross, Y shallow cross, Z shallow cross, Z under. Spread weak, your halfback speed motion. Much like the West Virginia, Texas A&M, Oklahoma State, really your 3rd and 4th generation air raid type of offenses have this same type of look. You got more run options, a little bit more personnel variety as far as being able to use 21 and 12 personnel for muscle when you need to have it. You got your 5 wide tight set here, which I like a lot. You can run a lot of similar stuff that you can run out of cluster, but out of empty spread. You have 4 empty sets here. You can run motion read option. You can run QB blast. You can also run QB power out of gun doubles as well out of this playbook. And here's one of the 2 5 wide sets that you have also. Again, you can run and pass out of those empty quads. And again, concept overlap. You can run motion read option, you can run the QB, and you have a variety of pass options. And you have a couple of pistol sets as well. Pistol full house and pistol wing trips. And you have Wildcat spread. So not quite as run heavy as you can get out of Oklahoma and or certainly West Virginia, but not too far behind. Florida State, the Seminoles. This playbook falls under the dreaded multiple playbook category, and multiple playbooks can go one of 2 ways. They can either be messes that you can get lost in very fast and just have big bloated messes, or they're like this, where you have formations that complement each other and have good formation overlap, what you would expect out of a playbook which is more, quote unquote, of a pro style feel, even though it does suffer from a case of randomness here and there. Like you have one pistol trio set, just one, for God knows what reason. But it kind of sticks to Jimbo Fisher's offensive philosophy, formation wise, and modern West Coasty style as well. You have a lot of pass concepts that you'll find in Madden style West Coast playbooks from I-Form and Ace. And in this game, you could actually execute a drop back pass offense. The drop back was clean, the routes were run a lot faster, not as much collisions going on. So it didn't really hurt you that much to go under center. Where in Madden, you feel like you're a prisoner to, stretch, dive, and whatever you can jerry rig up. So here's that pistol 4-wide trio. I mean, why is it there? It's not a bad formation. It just looks out of place. It doesn't really belong. I mean, I've never seen FSU and Jimbo Fisher run a load option once from the pistol. And of course, they also can't resist putting in a speed or an inverted veer or a triple option, even though, again, I've never seen FSU run that. But their pass concepts are pretty sound. Again, very West Coasty. You have flood, deep curls, you have a lot of angle routes, you have some double moves there as well. You got mesh, play action read option, forwards, post drag, play action dagger, curl combo. You got some jet sweeps, you have strong flood. Curl hinge is spaced out very nice, that play action corner, those two double moves on each side. The layout, another flanker dig, you have some auto motion there as well. Y trips. Good, solid, pro-style passing attack. Very modern, Madden-ish West Coast. Gun bunch, bunch flood, play action post, tight cross, spacing is the spot, play action pivot, post corner. Really good gun bunch set. You have a shotgun tight set as well with a mid-screen, which you don't have in Madden. Mesh, slot curl, bench pivot. Going back to spread 2x2. And I still don't understand what happened between him and FSU and why he left. Never really made sense to me. That post high-low is really nice too. It just seems odd to me still that he's at A&M. But A&M's got a lot of money, and Jimbo likes his money. And honestly, I think he's a smidge overrated, really. Outside of Jameis Winston and just a bevy of talented receivers, backs, and tight ends, what has he really accomplished? Not a whole heck of a lot, in my opinion. But, he got his generational quarterback, he recruited really well, and he got an Addy out of it, so no one can say a damn thing. But yeah, this is a multiple playbook done right. Most of it more or less fits, there's not a whole heck of a lot of waste. Louisville. Louisville's is a little weird. It's a little strange. Again, it falls under the multiple playbook category, and it's almost too big. It's got a lot of stuff in it. A lot of stuff. You got a ton of pistol. I believe this was during Bobby Petrino's second stint at Louisville. He came back to Louisville in 2014 after Strong left for Texas. And I'm pretty sure Bridgewater wasn't there in 2014. I think because Lamar Jackson's first year was 2015, I believe. So there's a gap in between Bridgewater and Lamar Jackson. And this playbook has this amalgamation of speed options, zone read out of the pistol, and a pretty nice downfield passing game, comebacks, deep ends, vertical routes, post routes. So it's like a cross between, the zone read and, triple option stuff that they'd run, and inverted veer and all that speed option that they'll run with a dual threat QB, and standard drop back passing stuff with your occasional jet sweep every now and then. A lot of personnel variety between the pistol and the shotgun sets. And that's why I ultimately like it. I like the pistol sets and how you can get downhill with the running game. And you do have concepts that you don't really have in the shotgun equivalent, sometimes in the pistol and vice versa. But you're not stuck with neither, which is a good thing. And if that isn't enough, you're also going to see a bunch of under center options that you can roll with as well. Really, really big playbook. It teeters on the brink of being, what I don't like about the multiple playbooks. There's just so much. You see, we just went through those 4 trip sets, and now we're on to Ace. It's crazy. Ace, big wing, big twins, twin tight ends. But what it has going for it is that even though it has all these formations, they're all pretty damn useful. Twin tight end. We can run goddamn tight end attack, play action middle, run the ball as well. Twin tight end slot. This is where it gets kind of redundant. But you have some good overlap there. Slot wing, 11 personnel, tight end option, deep hook, swing slot, and wide trips. While it's a lot, none of it's useless. And then you have I form. So it's like this weird pistol, shotgun, under center, pro style, with a dash of option hybrid, which kind of sounds a lot like what Lamar Jackson did when he was at Louisville, to be honest with you. So I guess they knew what they were doing. But yeah, this is a very, very large playbook. One of the largest in the entire game. New Mexico. Never hire Bob Davie to be a head coach. Bob Davie is kind of like the college version of Wade Phillips. Great defensive coordinator. He's arguably a collegiate Hall of Fame level defensive coordinator. Just don't let him run your team. But he was smart enough to run pistol triple option at New Mexico. That's basically what this playbook is. And it's kind of similar to, like I mentioned earlier in the Air Force segment, how the academies have gone, running their, the Army and Navy academies have gone, moving their flexbone to pistol and shotgun versions of those formations and running their sets out of that. But you have pistol full house, pistol train, weak twins, ace, and you have a bevy of ways to run dive, strong power, counter, read option, jet sweep. You can run also a triple option with the jet motion receiver. Remember how good strong power was in these years? Motion wide receiver option, counter, strong power in all these sets. Motion power, speed option, stretch. Lot of muscle. There's another motion triple option coming up. Wide receiver post with a double move. Corner route. Wing over. Again, same song, different verse. Motion triple option to the other side. Just enough passing to have some viable stuff. Another motion option in both directions. With a pistol slot, wide trips. Wide receiver screen, smash, China, verticals. And more options, wing trips. Inside zone split, power option, triple option, motion zone read, or triple option rather, and pistol spread. You got some deep fork action, some more speed option, and split slot, same song, different verse. You have load option, mid read, counter trap option, play action, inverted veer, and inverted veer. Ace twins weak, so you have pistol versions and so you have shotgun versions of the same thing. Power and wrap out of this set. So really, you have as many options, or near as many options as you would have in a flex bone, as well as the downhill run action. You have F twins over, where you have your fake power, your fake jet, your ISO with the slot receiver, which is basically your wing back dive at a slot, or your slot back dive, and you have a random gun bunch formation here where you can sling the rock out of if you want to. I mean, it's a crazy playbook. It's a really fun playbook to use. So many options, no pun intended. Really good book. Really unique. UCLA. This was a tough call between this playbook and West Virginia. I really like West Virginia's air raid playbook, but I like this one a little bit better. This is a air raid and multifaceted motion spread combined with some pistol muscle and some pistol spread sets as well to create this hybrid air raid and zone read and jet sweep and motion screen offense. It is so good, with a dash of some quote-unquote pro-style concepts as well. It's just awesome. Noel Mazzoni was the OC at UCLA during this time. He's a Coach Mackey favorite. And as I, spoke on in the Cal segment, New Age Air Raid, with a more of an emphasis on the running game and different, more diverse personnel packages and more downfield shots. It's shots. It's not this. The air raid has evolved from the mesh, bubble screen, quick screen, stick type of offense. Like this set right here is great. All that, those 3 plays you can run with that same jet motion. But I like that. I like the play action shot plays. I like the run options, and I like the heavy sets when you want to muscle the ball and still have the dynamic air raid passing attack and the air raid classics. Makes for a fun offense. You see a lot of concept overlap in here, a lot of shallow crosses, a lot of Y cross, a lot of flanker dig type concepts, a lot of wide receiver mid screens, bubbles, and jailbreak screens, a lot of stick, mesh, Y corner, and you also have the zone read, the speed option, base. You have dive, both offset and inline, 0-1 trap, inverted veer, deep attack out of trio, inside smash, slot corner, flood, deep and play action boot, air raid under. It's just loaded. It's an absolutely loaded book. Auto motion mesh, tray open offset, same thing. Y corner, just overlap everywhere, and just a lot of variations of the concepts that you would like to have at your disposal in every freaking formation. What a concept. One empty set. And here's the pistol stuff. You can go heavy with pistol full house, similar to the West Virginia playbook. And you can also go pistol with 1 back and 2 tight ends. You can also go pistol 2 back with strong slot. You can run mesh dig. Scat is actually runnable in this game. Shakes, switch, same thing with weak H flex, just the inverse or the flipped version of that formation more or less, and trips open. Really fun playbook. This should have been in either part 1 or part 2. I shortchanged this playbook big time. It's an excellent playbook. Washington, pro style book, kind of reminds me of a little bit of Florida State and a little bit of Boise. The Boise influence kind of makes sense because that's where Chris Peterson used to coach. One thing that annoys me is when they put in these split back sets, they insist on putting in again these option plays that they never run. It's just one of those things. But yeah, a lot of very shotgun pro style West Coasty. You see slot seams there, among other things, and you see a lot of deep square ins. You see China and HB angle, smash with a motion out of the backfield. Got gun bunch with 518 hook, Z spot, flanker drive, post corner flood, play action post, destroy, mesh post, clear out, flanker in. You got trail, you got spread spot. You got it's a loaded gun bunch set. Double flex is very nice as well. You have the inverted veer and play action inverted veer, which is a waste, and you have 5 wide flex. Not the biggest shotgun selection of formations on the face of the earth, but it's all really, really good. You got a Wildcat set in there, and Ace is where your bread is pretty much buttered. Look at all those Ace sets. You can go all the way from 12 to 11 personnel. Zone runs, gap runs, misdirection, and, West Coast pass concepts like flanker drive. You have strong curls, play action middle, tight end attack, play action tight end flood, Z spot, curl combo, and you have overlap again. Most of these formations have pretty strong formation overlap. You have Z spot again, dagger, big wing, same deal, corner strike, flanker under, HB swing, A slot flex again, flanker drive, Z under. You had mesh, Y trips, play action in, slot option, split and cross, slot drive. Really good set, and you have Ace Bunch. Z spot, corner strike, tight end angle, deep post, and you have an under center empty set as well. Really, really strong under center as far as this playbook goes. If you like to work under center, this is an excellent playbook for that. You have I form and a really good balance of run and pass. Again, you could actually run a under center drop back passing offense in this game and not get yourself slaughtered. Slot flex and I form tight. Not a lot of playbooks allow you to run 3 wide with 2 backs under center. Strong I normal, 494 F flat's a good play. You can run stretch, you can run Y post, you can run F trail. Strong I Y trips, a pretty unique formation. And they also have, out of that, you have Y flex. Get the tight end off the line and detach and have him work in space. Deep cross, wide receiver in. One of the best pro-style playbooks in the entire game. Skinny post, fly sweep, just a lot that you can do. And lastly, we are going to close with Washington State. We've spoken quite a bit about the Air Raid Disciples. We haven't spoken about the Air Raid mentor, Mr. Mike Leach himself. Lots of shotgun sets. Throw the ball a billion times and like it. Run a lot of mesh, run a lot of stick, run a lot of shallow cross and like it. You're not going to be doing much in the way of pounding the ball. Not a whole heck of a lot of QB keep game. We got a couple here and there. Run game is basically base, inside zone, outside zone, and counter. If you're an air raid purist, passing game, extension of the running game as far as the short stuff is concerned, this is the way to go. As we're scrolling down, you just see formation overlap all over the place. You see switch, you see shallow cross, you see wide receiver screen, in all of their various variations all over the place in every formation. And really, that's what the air raid is. It's a scaled down version of the West Coast offense, more or less. And you just get your guys into space quickly, and you have plays that build off of each other. Shallow cross builds into follow. You have mesh that builds into mesh post, or mesh with a corner route, or a return route. Stick into stick and nod. Y corner. You have scissors. You have double moves off of the mesh. Just a ton of variations of a handful of simple concepts which have worked forever and which will always continue to work if they're spaced properly. Combine that with good personnel and you can have yourself a party. And I really need to see Arizona's playbook get some love in Madden 21. Madden 20, that playbook was one of the great disappointments of Madden 20, combined with how Madden 20 played to make it such a limited playbook. Free that bad boy up, man. Free it up. And if the beta's any indication, it's going to be a lot more user-friendly to run. But I want to see some upgrades to it. I want to see more of a QB run game and a more updated version of what Arizona ran throughout the year. Here where the trip sets it again. It's just the same core concepts being run out of these formations in different ways, and that's how every good offense is built. Only have one ace set and only have one pistol set. So, get in the gun and sling the rock around. You got pistol, strong slot. That's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. We're 30 playbooks deep, and they're all awesome to the point where it's hard to narrow it down. I can do, I can tack on 5 more playbooks to this video, make it 15. I can tack on 10 more. I can keep on going. These playbooks were so well done and offered so much schematic variety compared to what we have. And I'm really looking to see what A-Dub says in this live stream this week to see what's going on as far as improving the playbooks for Madden 21. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.